Hey there! In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to bow a arm in Anime Studio. Tutorial! There are two methods that we are going to use for bowing a arm. Now, as you can see, I've already drawn a character right here, and we are going to make a arm for him and we are going to make it bow. So as you can see, I have drawn a hand for him but not a arm, and that is because for both of methods we have to draw different arms. So let's just start with the first method. And by the way, we are going to use bones to bow the arm. So if you don't know how to work with bones, I have a previous tutorial about that. But if you're already familiar with that, we are going to get started. Now I'm going to make a new layer above the hand, and I'll name this one lower arm. Then I'll take the draw shade tool, make sure oval is selected, and make sure you have the same color as the sweater, of course, and you just draw a arm right here. I put it here. Let's see how that looks. Well, this looks good. So now I'm going to make a second layer for the upper arm, and what I do, I just copy this arm right here. I'll just click copy, go to the upper arm, and I'll just paste it right here. There we go. So if I click here, it looks like this. We need to add some changes on this one. One thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in first, and then I'll take the add point tool and make sure sharp corners is deselected, and I'll just add some points right here. Then I'll take the hide edge tool and I'll just remove these edges right here. Maybe I'll take the curvature tool just to make those points a little bit different, and then it will look like this. We also need to change this right here, and for that we are going to use something that is called a patch layer, and you create that right here, and make sure it's above the upper arm, by the way. And what you do, you pick a target for the patch layer, and for this case we are going to use this one, the lower arm layer, as the target. So let's see where he is. He's probably right here. This circle right here is a patch layer. Now what you do, you just move the patch layer right here, and you see that the lines are disappearing, because anything that is between the patch layer and the target, in this case the lower arm, and it will be put before the target layer, the lines will disappear, and that is very useful for this method for bowing a arm. So now we are going to add bones on the arm. Make sure you select this bone because we want it to be connected with this body bone. Take the add bone tool and just add some bones right here. And I'll take the bone string tool and I'll just reduce the strings of these bones. Then we are going to bind the layers with the bones, the upper arm with this one, the lower arm with this one, and the hand with this one. And then we take the manipulate bones tool, and you see I now have a arm that I can bow. So if this would be fine for you, you can use this one. So now we are going to start with the second method, and for that I'm going to remove these arms, these layers right here, because we don't need them anymore. I'm also going to remove these bones. So now I make a new layer, and we'll name it arm. So now we put the whole arm on just one layer, and I'll take the draw shape tool and I'll choose rectangle, and I'll draw his arm right here. Maybe I'll move it a little bit lower there, and I'll take the hide edge tool and I'll make sure I hide this line right here. Now what I'm going to do, I'll take the add bone tool. I'll make sure that you select this bone again, and I'm just drawing two bones right here for the arm and one for the hand again. Now we are going to do it a little bit different right now. The hand for the hand layer, we are going to reduce the bone strength, but for the arm, we are not going to remove it completely. We're just going to leave it a little bit like this, so that the arm is within this transparent region. Same for this one right here. And then we are going to the layers. The hand layer, we are just going to bind it with this bone. For the arm, we are going to do it a little bit different. We take the select shape tool, and we select both of these bones. Then while you're on the arm layer, of course, you're going to bone, and you click use selected bones for flexi binding. So now they are selected, and now they are connected with the arm. And if I take the manipulate bones tool, it's already moving, but of course not the way we want it to be. And the reason why it's not moving good is because you have to add points right here in order to make it bow. So I take the add point tool, make sure sharp corners is deselected, and we just add 2 points right here. Then I'll take the manipulate bones tool, and you see it's already moving, bowing the way we want it. But still, it's not really the way you want it to be. We need it's going to be very thin right here, and we don't want that, of course. So there is a way to fix this. So what we are going to do, we are going to take the actions panel. Now we are going to add changes to this bone, because this bone is the one that we use for bowing the arm. And first we need to know the name of this bone. You can find the name by clicking on the select shape tool, and while you have selected the bone you want, you can see its name right here, B10 in this case, but you can change it, of course. So let's say, since it's the lower arm, we'll just name it lower arm. Then what you are going to do, you are going to make a action, and you name it lower arm, just like the bone. Now what happens is you are coming on a different timeline than the one before. The one that we are normally we are on the main line, but in this case we are on the action of this on the timeline of this action, the lower arm. And what happens, you automatically come on frame 1. You need to do this on frame 1. On any other frame it's not going to work. So you take the transform bone tool and you just move the bone just like we did before. So then we are going to the arm layer, and I'll just zoom in a little bit. And then while you're on frame 1, you are going to change it the way you want it to be. So I'll just make it right here, and let's see how we can do it. Take the curvature tool. I think it would be fine if it looks like this. So now if you go back to the main line, and I'll zoom out, and I'll take the manipulate bones tool and I'll move this bone right here. You see it's already moving the way you want it to be. Now let's say you would also want it to move this way. It wouldn't look really good on this character because it's from the side, so moving it this way doesn't look very natural. But let's say you have a character on the front view and you want to make him wave like this. There is a way to do that. What you do, you are going to make a new action again, and this time you name it lower arm 2, and we're just going to do the same thing as we did before. We are moving this bone right here, and I'll zoom in and I'll just add some changes on the bone. So now it's also moving the way you want it. So that's the second way of moving a arm. So if you would go to the timeline right here, start at this frame and you just click one time, and then you go to frame 60 and you move it like this, and you have created a animation of a character bowing his arm. And of course this isn't only for useful for an arm. You can do the same thing with the legs or any other thing that you would like to bow. So just play around with it and see where you can use these methods for. So anyway, that's the end of this tutorial.
If you like this video and you want to learn more about Anime Studio, then please subscribe to this channel. I put weekly tutorials on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I also make animations myself. I upload them within 1 or 2 months, so if you're interested, you can watch those too. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.